Coach, I think you guys got to within 10, I think, at halftime, and they just couldn't get over the hump. What was TCU doing so well today? What was anything stand out?
That they did?
Yeah.
Yeah, the way they chewed gum, the way they tied their shoes, everything they did was perfect today. I mean, they played great. They're so fast, they're so athletic off the bench. Their bench was unbelievable. And, you know, we actually got a ton of good looks in the first half, a ton. I mean, we missed a lot of layups and didn't finish some plays. Grady got some looks, didn't knock them down. But over a course of time, you know, you have to be able to defend somebody and stop somebody, and we never defended them today. So that was a beat down, not from right from the jump, but the way we guarded, we gave them confidence early, and they took that confidence and ran with it.
Coach Self, Stephen Johnson, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. You kind of touched on their bench. You held their two best players, Mike and Emmanuel Miller, to just combine 20 points. Is that usually a situation where you feel like you would probably win that game if you did that?
You know what? I won't even look at it that way, because I think TCU's got something pretty special going. You know, if you look at the end of the game, when Miles could have tried to dribble out the clock and get his own shot, he would throw it to the guy that felt like they had the best matchup. Really unselfish. And then that guy would try to score. So I think it's a little misleading, because in a tight game, I think that those two could go out and get more. I think that they just didn't do it today, in large part because of Miles. He has the ball, so he controls it more than anybody else. But everybody was so good, and they had one focus today, and that was to win the game. Their focus wasn't to win the game and me get mine. So I think when you look at stats like that, sometimes they're a little misleading, because those two actually played a heck of a lot better and productive than what their numbers showed.
Coach, you guys were down 22 in the first half, cut it to 10 at halftime. I think everybody was assuming you would just keep on the roll. What happened at the start of the second half that never let you get back into the game?
I don't think we scored. You know, we couldn't score. I thought, and I'd have to watch the tape, but we didn't guard very well. But I thought we didn't score, and the good looks we had, we missed. But I thought it got a little bit like we were playing like there was a 10-point play in our back pocket, as opposed to just trying to win that possession. And so, you know, that happens a lot when you get behind like that, and these guys haven't been behind a lot. But 10 was manageable. But when it went to 16 pretty quick, you knew, and we didn't have any momentum, and basically, you know, both teams were in the bonus with 12 and a half left. So, you know, and they're a great free throw shooting team. It just didn't, we just didn't put ourselves in a position to be able to, you know, press, trap, create deflections or turnovers, in large part because their individual speed wouldn't allow us to do that.
Jalen talked a lot about, I mean, he said the word pride a bunch of times. Is that what this comes down to moving forward for those guys? Just having some pride, and especially defensively, he was talking about?
Yeah, well, we talked about that a lot, so he's probably echoing my sentiments as much as anything. But the thing about it is, this team has done really well. But this team has done really well and got some good fortune in doing well. This league is so good that, now we got a bad break, you know, in the last game, but this league is so good that if you can't make other people play poorly, you're not going to have a lot of success in the league. And we're going through a phase right now that I think that we can guard in stretches, but we're not guarding like we guarded Indiana. I mean, we're not guarding like that. We're not flying around like that. And scouting report's a big deal with a couple of our guys, and that's disappointing to me. But there in the first half, Jalen carried us on offense, and Juan did a great job defensively. Other than that, I didn't really recognize too many individuals really doing a lot on either end.
How worried are you about another score, or you know, some guys like Kevin and Grady maybe in slumps. Jalen's obviously scoring very well and can get what he gets, but are you worried about that at all?
I'm worried about them guarding somebody more than I am scoring. I think when you worry about the right things, you score more points. And the right thing with those guys need to be, we need to lock in and get stops, and understand that, you know, this guy goes right, this guy goes left. Understand on out of bounds play, they're gonna dive the guy from the weak side every time. I mean, there's a lot of simple things that we didn't do today that to me put us in a situation where we had to play too good on a day that we weren't that good. We put ourselves in a hole where, okay, so how are we going to, you know, there's been a lot of games that we've had in this building like that, and somehow or another we make the other team shoot a low percentage the second half and climb our way back in and can't make a shot, but we'll get a second or third opportunity and knock down that three or what. We just didn't have any of that today. You know, we just didn't have any of that today.
MJ and Ernest got early playing time for the first time in a few weeks. What went into that decision and just collectively?
Well, I told them that they were going to play in the game, and you know, to be honest with you, they weren't the problem. Now, when they went in the game, it went bad because, you know, we just throw it to the other team and they go make a layup. They weren't the issue, but no, I told everybody in practice that's exactly what we're going to do. You know, that our guys knew that. I was disappointed that, you know, it's although the minutes are a little bit misleading because their bench scored what, 39 points? Is it 39? And our bench had 5. You know, basically, huh?
You had 8.
Well, one of them was Jank at the end of the game.
Yeah.
You know, Jank doesn't, I mean, no disrespect, but he doesn't count as far as bench points. With the scholarship guy, I'm talking about the scholarship guys that played the minutes, you know, 39 to 5. Now, a lot of that's misleading because of the minutes, but their bench really did a nice job contributing. There's no doubt about that.
And on topic of the bench, I guess, what do you think it will take to get those guys increase just production?
Well, I think what we got to do is get our starting 5 playing better. I mean, guys, our bench isn't such where they're going to make a huge difference in us winning or not winning. The way they can contribute the most is defending, not turning it over, you know, getting confidence from doing the things that don't show up in the stat sheet, and then they'll get more confidence moving forward. But you know, I don't think that the scoring off the bench is the same with our program right now as it is with theirs. But there's ways that they can help us. But that's not the problem today. That's not the problem. We can talk about bench, we can talk about getting more production and all that stuff. That's not the problem today. The problem is the guys that played majority minutes didn't really do anything, nor did we get them to do anything to get the other team to play poorly. That's where the issue lies, and we got to clean that up.
Bill, you've only got a day between this and Baylor. Are you going to spend much time on this one at all, or does it move really quickly on to them?
Well, you know, we don't have time to spend much time on it. We may show them, you know, 20 clips or whatever. We could show them 150 clips in this game, but, you know, there's no reason to do that. And guys, this league is so good. There's no reason to come at them in a way that loses what's most important. The most important is try to get your bodies back fresh, and let's be ready to go Monday. And now we're going to only be able to practice about 20 or 30 minutes tomorrow to probably do that. But that's what's most important. And we've been doing this a while, and our team's been around, knowing that fresh minds and fresh bodies are probably more important right now than a lot of different things. But there still's got to be a mindset. You know, last year we struggled with it. You know, this team is not last year's team by any stretch. You know, last year's team had a couple of alpha dogs, and you know, we certainly got one this year in Jay Will. There's no doubt about that. But last year's team, they were experienced enough, they understood enough that, you know, hey, if in this situation, this is how they play to the high low. This is where they catch it. We got to deny this. We can't let them catch the ball in their spot. They understood that and bought into taking that away. This team yet. And I emphasize yet that we haven't quite got that yet. So there's some things that we can do to tighten some things up that I think would put us in a better position to play better on Monday. But, you know, you can go to Baylor and play better, and those 3 cats can make, you know, 15 threes. Or 12 threes or whatever it be. So, you know, a lot of it is we got to be energized, and we didn't play with much energy today.
How much of that do you want to come from those guys that have been around, started on a national championship team, all that stuff? I mean, do you look extra at them right now to get the rest of them going, or does it come from your voice, or where does that come from?
I think it comes from within as much as anything.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it comes from within as much as anything. But I'll be honest with you. It starts within the individual. It starts within me. It starts within our assistant coach. It starts with the individuals looking in the mirror and say, you know what, I got to improve in this area and take it serious. That's where it starts. And our guys have always responded, so I anticipate them doing that.
Anything else for Coach? Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.